Hey guys, it's Nolen and Jason here with Roofing Webmasters.
Howdy.
So today we're going to talk about topic is I get roofing reviews on my GBP map, but I don't show in rankings. And
We hear it a lot.
Yeah, we hear it a lot and we see it a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really common for somebody, you can go into any market and type in roofer in this market and you'll see the pack 3 show up where everybody wants to show up. So
Right.
that's the map, or also called GBP or Google Business Profile. And there'll be somebody up there with 20 reviews in the pack 3 and somebody else with 300.
Yeah.
And then there'll be somebody a few spaces down that has 700 and they're not in the pack 3. And the question is, how do they get in the pack 3 if they've got plenty of reviews, and how'd that guy with 20 get up there, you know? So we don't have, Google doesn't just tell us the algorithm, right?
Right. We have to discern what's going on by watching things in the real world, how they happen.
For the most part, I don't think they've ever really told us how map ranking works or any hint towards it at all.
No.
They'll give us general stuff, but the point is that they judge your brand. They grade. They don't. J-Man had a better idea on this. They compare it. They compare data on your digital signaling for your brand to other people.
Right.
And obviously, reviews are not the only thing that denote ranking. So,
well, I mean, even if the EEAT, experience,
expertise,
thank you, authority, and trust, reviews are the T of EEAT.
Right.
And there's 3 other things you have to pay attention to.
Right. So mostly people put up a really bad website and then get reviews and then wonder why things don't work well.
Right.
And it doesn't work well in a nutshell because you've got really horrible overall digital signaling coming in for your brand.
Yeah.
So the signaling that comes in from the review itself is nice, but by itself isn't enough to make it show up in pack 3. So somebody can have way less reviews, but have a lot of great digital branded signaling, and Google says, wow, this deserves to show up higher in ranking.
Yeah, they've got all these factors that look great, and they have enough reviews to justify a top spot. It's not, reviews are not 100% a numbers game. It's not you have the most reviews, you have the top spot.
You have to have a few. It'd be very difficult today to be a roofer and have like 0, 1 review and show up in a medium to large market.
Yeah, I mean, you need some.
You've got to have some. But yeah, people miss the boat on the fact that you have a digital brand and that they're taking in that information and comparing it to other people.
Yeah.
And they have an acronym called EEAT, or Experience, Expertise, Authority, and Trust. And when they see a lot of those signals come through, it makes them feel more comfortable with your brand. And I think they're going to give the Google user a better experience by showing you.
Right, right.
So, and that occurs through high quality web design and code within that. We have over 100 points of schema code when we put up a design of our own.
Right.
It has to do with the amount of times people search your name or stay on your website, or bounce rate and things like that. A lot of little things. There was something that we were talking about the other day that was a signal for an indirect signal for branded authority, and it wasn't the search; it was new users to it. It's an interesting metric.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a way to test the brand. So if there's auxiliary marketing going on and they're going directly in, if they give credit to new users to a site, then it indirectly gives credit to the brand being searched within it. Makes sense, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot of little nuances to things that go on. When somebody basically ignores their digital marketing by kind of throwing their hands up and then just getting very aggressive about a review, that individual probably not going to do very well online.
Yeah.
And
people get obsessive about reviews.
They do.
There's a thread going through small business these days that reviews are the whole package, that nothing matters as much as reviews.
Right.
I have clients call up that they'll get a single bad review and they are like, I mean, they're about to pull their hair out, stressed,
Right.
freaking out over one bad review. You will get a bad review at some point.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you've done a bad job. That could mean it could be a competitor trying to mess with you. It could be a mistake.
Every 50 or so, you're going to get one.
You're going to get one.
Yeah.
And I hate to tell you this, but Google's not going to remove it.
Yeah.
If you can get in contact with the person who left it and get them to remove it.
Right.
But and actually that reminds me, I had a conversation with a client 2 weeks ago. They had someone give them a bad review. They contacted their customer, worked it out. The customer said they would remove the review. And then when they went in to remove it, the delete button was no longer there.
Really? Can't remove them anymore.
Yeah. It might have been like you can remove it within a certain period, but after that it's set in stone. So you're better off just assuming that's going to stay there and getting more good reviews to drown it out.
Yeah. And I mean, if you have stellar reviews, it's going to be fine. But, it just, we've done this a long time. People call up here and we talk to them and try to help them gingerly through the awareness process of all the things that need to be done.
Right.
And most of it we do for them. There's very little things. In fact, one of the only things they have to do on their own is get the reviews.
Yeah.
So we've got obviously data.
We can't do that for you because they can't be fake and they can't be solicited. They have to be asked for by the service provider.
Right. So they have to do that. It's important. But when they miss all the stuff that we bring to the table, they probably not going to do well in ranking. And at very least, if it's a competitive market, they might stay up temporarily out of authority, maybe like tenure time.
Yeah.
But once Google has somebody else with better branded signaling in a myriad of ways, those people get knocked out of ranking.
Yeah.
Because
if you've got if you're ranking well now, but you're not curating all these parts of digital signaling, you're vulnerable because someone else could, a competitor could open up in your area. They could be brand new. And if they're hitting it on all cylinders, they will overtake
I hear that all the time. It's like, this guy rolled into town, showed up out of nowhere. Now, typically when I look at these and I hear that, well, what's he doing? And I'm like, well, first off, at least we can tell that the domain was registered, a year and a half or 2.5 years ago. Usually they're a couple of years old.
Yeah.
And what they did was they were responsible about their digital branded signaling.
They actually started 2 years ago. You just didn't know about them until just now.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
took your
they
spot.
pop in.
Yeah.
And they popped in after really working hard. It doesn't mean it takes that long to show up. Most people that we talk to have been up a little while. If they already have a little bit of authority, a little bit of trust, that just means been online a little bit and have a few reviews.
Yeah.
They can see movement within a few months. Now, if somebody's brand new, it might take them a little longer. And even the guy that popped in, he's getting a lot of benefit before the other guy noticed him. Yeah. The other guy noticed him. He was already getting daily call volume. He just noticed him when he popped into pack 3 and bumped somebody down.
He noticed him when he sat down at his computer and put roofer in. Right. And that for the first time he saw that guy up. But if that guy was doing doing his marketing properly, he was showing up for repair and all kind of auxiliary keywords and what
Bravo
those
barrel Spanish tiles and GAF,
that,
HT Timberline shingles.
If that guy's using data pins, he's been showing up for thousands of keywords that whole time.
Right.
It's just that the guy who just noticed him only ever looks for the primary keyword.
Nolen Walker here for Roofers Paradise. Thank you for checking out our podcast here for Roofing Webmasters, where we talk about nothing but marketing. But I'd love for you to check out Roofers Paradise, where I personally interview and talk with roofers. We talk about their successes, their failures, their dreams, their goals and ambitions. It's a great podcast where we actually speak to roofers. Love to have you check out Roofers Paradise. You can find us on YouTube by searching Roofers Paradise. Any platform for podcasts, search Roofers Paradise. Be sure to subscribe, or you can actually go to roofersparadise.show. Look forward to having you over at Roofers Paradise. So data pins allows you to actually pin every job. So typically a guy has let's say he has 7 reviews, 10 reviews, or 150 or 200 reviews. It doesn't really matter. The guy that has 10 reviews has done 200 jobs. The guy that has 25 reviews has done 500-600 jobs. The guy that has 200's done 2,000
Yeah, he's
jobs.
got thousands of
He might be a little more aggressive. He might have done 1,500. He's aggressive about reviews, but he's done 1,500 jobs. In all cases, there's just the lion's share of the work goes unseen by Google. So the ability to get expertise, experience, authority, and trust from each client is diminished by 90% on average.
Right.
So data pins allows you to raise your hand and say, Google, we did something here. And so that turbocharges digital signaling for the brand. They get to see the geo-coordinate where it was located. Unique photos, unique caption, like just did a reinstall on a Brava Barrel Spanish tiles roof. And now Google knows you work on Brava Barrel Spanish tiles, Brava tiles. We got a client who did that keyword or that little caption, and he shows up for literally hundreds of combinations that on one pin.
Yeah.
Because they spidered.
Nobody else ever talked about it.
Yeah. He spidered it, and that was in one of the top 5 metros in the U.S. that showed up. So he gets calls from these things. He has 700 pins, 750 where he raised his hand. He has unique words, which adds the keywords that can show up on the map and organic keywords that click through to the website. It texts and emails the clients for more reviews, and it posts the picture and caption up to the Google account, much less picture, caption, and geo-coordinate digital hand raise up to the individual pages on the website.
Right.
So DataPins does like fabulous work to do this stuff, and it's an unfair advantage, but it's completely legal. It is. I mean, when you take this guy that's doing this, that says, I don't know why I don't show up anywhere. I neglect everything about my digital web presence, except I get a ton of reviews. I've got a crappy website. I never do anything.
I get reviews.
I don't want to spend money on any of this stuff, but I want Google to put me in pack 3. Well, you probably have a pretty poor experience for the Google user, right? Yeah. And you don't realize also how many stinking keywords you're missing, how many impressions, because of the inherent value of keywords, whether it's in a caption or a written page, that allows the map to show up more, that allows the keywords to show up. And people miss all of it almost all the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So we have I'm not as bitter towards it as I was. You know, we talked about this stuff. It used to really irritate me when we'd come in here and, you know, there's tons of these online, so people can watch us.
You can see us being angry about it.
Yeah. And, you know, everybody's at different stages of awareness about different things in life. You continually learn. Unfortunately, you never really figure it all out. The problem with not figuring out your marketing is that it's so bad. From a business owner's perspective, being myself, I never made money unless that marketing was perfect. Yeah. And you see the effects of marketing that we have in here, how sensitive all of it is, right? Yeah. So the many components to marketing should consume the business owner's thoughts. And 99% of them are in a state of awareness that is so low that you can basically kick the living crap out of all of them.
Yeah.
So they are so poor.
They're usually focused on just the wrong thing in general. We had a client who called not too long ago, and he was going into winter off season, and he said, I have to save some money.
Yeah.
And so I have to save this. And I told him flat out, and I said, okay, you're telling me that you have to save what you pay us, our fee. You have to save that much.
Right.
And he said, yeah. And I said, ours is the wrong one to cut. You've got that amount of money elsewhere.
Right.
That you can cut. And it sounds self-serving, but it was true. It's like, if you cut ours, that's it for your business.
Yeah, it's such we call it the big show. You know, it's such a big deal to be up in ranking.
Yeah.
Nolen Walker here for DataPins. You may not know, but I own a software company, and we have a proprietary software called DataPins, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapins.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software, and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs, up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website, just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by DataPins, and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords, and remember those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website, your rankings, and the map placement. Check out Data Pens. I think you'll be happy you did. I had a guy, actually, I think he'll become a client. He was a cool guy. I'm going to speak with him and his wife tomorrow. I have spoken with him already. And he's a sub crew for 16 years. So you don't run into this much. Most of the roofers are entrepreneurs, salespeople.
Yeah. We see accountants, stuff like that.
A lot of other contractors are, technicians that get into the biz.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, these subcrews get into the biz too.
Yeah, they decide to break off and do their own thing.
Yeah, his knowledge of like roof installation and roof processes is like really amazing. I was just talking to him just a little bit. You could tell he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And he bumped along a little bit, and he's proud that he's not doing that. He's still doing consulting for other companies and sub jobs every once in a while, but he has a website up, and he'd kind of broken off a couple of years ago. He has a few reviews, but he finally kind of woke up to the fact, he's like, wait a minute, I think I need to do marketing. Most people don't wake up to the fact. Some of the guys that are in roofing, they're like, they're already so naturally sales oriented or entrepreneurial spirit that they'll hustle up enough other things to keep going.
Yeah.
And to move through stuff. And they'll try this, that, and the other. But I'm telling you, like...
They'll buy leads, door knocks, stuff like that.
Yeah, up and
all
down.
Of which is valid.
Up and down on their Google. They get somebody, they don't understand it. They stop. They get a little results. They never tie back to where the lead came from Google. But They get a little success up and down. I'm here to tell you that, like, if you don't stay after it and provide regular digital signaling to Google about your brand, you're just not going to stay high in ranking. And not being in this biggest thing that's ever existed, still to this day, free. Like everybody wants to hate them, but it's free. I told the story before. We had a guy call up and was like, by God, he got a bad review. He got one bad review. He had 75. You remember this?
Yeah.
He didn't actually become a client. Or was he a client or no? No, I didn't. So he got one bad review. He said, I'm going to sue them. I'm going to sue their asses off. I was like, you're going to sue Google? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you're not going to get anywhere. And I said, I got a great idea. He said, what? I was like, I know how to show him. He said, what? I said, cancel your damn account. And he's like, what?
That would be crazy.
That's crazy. I said, why is that crazy? He's like, well, I make millions off of that. I said, exactly. I said, where's your attitude's misplaced? And all he did was reviews. He didn't do much else.
Think where he'd been if he'd done everything properly.
Yeah, and most of the guys listing have never had their site up. That guy got lucky, he got reviews, he's up there. And it really is lucky because at some point in time when they're grading like 1,000 things, you're going to lose your ranking.
Yeah. When
you have a cruddy website that breaks. People call all the time, by the way, just like all the time. They're like, well, I was up in ranking. I had a guy call the other day. The guy was a new roofing client. His brother... if he listens to this, he'll know who he is. But his brother's a painter, and there's nothing bad to say about it. But his brother was older in a painting company that did pretty big painting jobs.
I remember who you're talking about. Yeah,
the brother's site was 16 years old. It was so old, it was ludicrous. It didn't look. There was broken stuff on it. It didn't look like it had been worked on in a very long time. He had one Google review, but had a map up for a long time. Well, the algorithm changed finally. It's moving much more swiftly these days, as we know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more stuff considered for valuation of the brand. And I talked to the guy, he's like, oh, I can't pay that. And we're a good deal, by the way. He just never had, but he disrespected his marketing the whole time.
Yeah.
And the shame of it all is that it never been worked on. So his site didn't have an SSL, had one review. And in my opinion, Google thought he was out of business. Much less he got
or at least he's kind of, they're looking at him like, we don't even know what's going on here.
Yeah, this is so old and we've moved forward and he was just out of ranking.
Yeah.
And he said, well, can you get me up in ranking? I said, the truth is you've been so neglectful. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. It's so neglectful that it may take a little bit of time because I'm not sure if they've reset you, So he just assumed it would be up there forever and got regular call volume on it. Now, that's a lot different. This guy's in a state where they just don't market. I don't know why, but they just don't market in this state. They should. You know, the state I'm
I know
talking
what you're
about.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
It's a big state, and they don't market. So he's up there but just because there's no competition. Almost all these roofers are in ludicrously competitive areas.
Yeah.
Whether it's Texas, Florida, Colorado, Georgia. I mean, it just,
For roofers, I would say any city over 50,000 people is competitive.
yeah.
And you've got to be in like a, sparsely populated rural area for roofing to be easy in terms of marketing and competition.
Luckenbach.
Yeah,
6 people.
Luckenbach, Texas.
Luckenbach, Texas.
I've done every roof in this town. Now there's nothing to do. I took a week.
I think there's like a convenience store. I don't think anybody lives there anymore. I think 3 people run the convenience store.
Oh, and they live outside town.
They live outside town. Nolen Walker here for Roofing Webmasters. I want you to consider becoming one of our clients. We've done this for 12 years, have hundreds of clients. We help everybody with their design, their code, their content, showing up on Google as high as possible. Clients get regular call volume. If you've never experienced what I call the big show, showing up on Google organically, which is where the vast majority of the clicks occur, on your map, your reputation, your reviews, your organic keyword ranking, you owe it to yourself to try us. We even have proprietary software that we own called data pens that lets you post pictures of jobs, unique captions that increase keywords and long-tail keywords, your rankings on Google, text and emailing clients about reviews, even posting pins and photos and captions back to Google. All this helps your organic rankings. Data pens is fantastic, and the work we do here at Roofing Webmasters is fantastic. Please give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Anyway, but yeah, so the roofers have a big time of it. You do need reviews, but you've got to have everything else. You've got to have a great website, content being added. Stuff like data pens is invaluable. And then your digital signaling is dancing, and you deserve to show up. You provide a great web presence.
Right.
Everybody thinks it's map only. That's another problem. The website is the basis for the map positioning or the keyword, because so many people go to the website. And I hate to even bring it up much anymore, but because of what, why. But almost half the people end up on the website.
Yeah.
And all the roofers want to tell me that nobody goes there.
And we have the data to prove otherwise.
It's actually on a well-stocked content site, it's literally over 50% end up on the website.
Yeah.
And the content in the website, if this could blow your mind, like the mind-blown watermelon exploding, the content on the website is the basis for all the other keywords to show up on the map.
Yeah. The map doesn't happen without keywords on the website.
The map might happen only for primary keywords.
Maybe.
Roofer, roofing repair, roof replacement. But those primary keywords are only 50% of search. So if you don't put up a website that has your inherent content in it, that your clients search, then you won't show up for half of all things.
And the clients search a lot of stuff that is not primary keywords. I know this because I'm the guy that talks to our clients and gets on what's called Google Search Console, which shows me what keywords a client has been tracked and displayed for over anywhere from the last 3 months to the past year. And you see exactly what people have typed in. Weird misspellings, bizarre kind of long tail queries, and just anything you can imagine. And even if a roofing client is ranked 1 for roofer near me, it is generally not the most impressions. It is not the highest volume keyword used.
Right.
It'll be roofer in with a county or a city or whatever it is, or a specific type of roof, or
Well, people make comments and they'll say, I don't show up for my keywords, or I already show up for my keywords, or I get a lot of reviews. It's like these basic assumptions. You're missing almost, most of the keywords.
Yeah.
And then these one-sided things. The good news is once you actually tend to these items, which we do all these things pretty much, except the pin itself, the review itself.
Yeah.
But once you tend to these things, then not only does your map have the ability to show up for primaries and all the other, but you get all the other words too. And then all that activity produces that digital signaling in a myriad of ways that then Google can tag and say, wow, these guys are hitting it on a lot of levels and deserve to show up not only for primaries, but for all this other stuff too.
Right.
And then anyway, that's it. I don't have much else to add to that. We do this for people. We have for, I don't even know how long now. I think it's the 13th year.
Yeah.
I think next year will be the 14th year. And there is no one that does this level of stuff that has also another company that has software that's proprietary that was built for you guys to succeed.
That is actually ahead of the curve.
Way ahead of the curve.
The EEAT used to be EAT.
Right.
It used to be expertise, authority, trust. The extra E for experience was added 2 months ago to the algorithm. And they put out the spec for it and they described it. And we read it, and Nolan and I were talking about it, and we literally looked at each other and said, that's data pins.
That's data pins.
Literally what data pins provides. And we made data pins 3 years ago.
Guess what's happened to our client base as they've made massive algorithmic changes lately that focus on quality of content? They have all done better.
Right.
So it's you need professionals on your side. I was listening to Zyeth, I was going to say Kevin O'Leary. He talks about it all the time. It's Robert Kiyosaki. And people go play. He said people come play games in business and get beat up because they don't know how to play the game. You know. And I've got my high-end
or oftentimes they're playing the wrong game.
He's got tax advisors and CPAs and bankers and financial analysts and all these people working for him, and he makes a lot of money. He's a cool dude. And I don't know why anybody would go through life and business and never have as one of their advisors, some of their counsel that they pay regularly as a marketing company when something like internet search is available, digital search for free for a nominal fee monthly to pay somebody to help you.
Yeah. For the cost to rank organically is so much lower than all of the paid options.
Yeah.
And the potential payoff is so much higher.
It's as dumb as, I always use it, my dad's a CPA, it's as dumb as somebody that does pretty good volume of cash in a business saying, oh, screw it, I don't need a CPA.
Yeah.
Not knowing tax law, not knowing changes, not knowing benefits that you could have, and just filing a blankly and paying the top bracket.
Yeah.
It's that big of a mistake, but people don't treat it like that big of a mistake. Anybody doing 5 million, 10 million business going to have CPA, going to have an accounting firm, going to get mad when they pay too much taxes. They look at those people in the Pack 3 and wonder, and they go, I just need to get more reviews. No, you've got a lot more work to do, but that's what you hire us to do.
Right.
Guys, give us a call when you are ready, and we would love to have you as a client. I think you'd be thrilled with the results. We'll see you.
Take it easy.